Hi, I'm Dale Rimsberg, AMJ instructor team member. Cleaning an anchor at the top, specifically sport climbing, is a pretty easy skill, but one that gets done improperly a lot of the time. It can lead to really catastrophic accidents if done completely wrong, or just not have been done with best practices. So I'm going to give you a few skills here that are fundamental, and then you can mix and match tools depending on what kind of what type of anchor configuration you come across. I've just top roped up to the top of the sport climb that my partner put up, and I'm going to clean these quick draws off of the anchor. In this case, they used a locking quick draw on the anchor just to provide a little more security. There's a number of different anchor configurations you'll see for sport climbing. This is one common one that guides use a lot. One non-locking draw and one locker draw, opposite and opposed down here. So what I did is I attached a PAS to my harness before I came up, knowing that I was going to clean this anchor. And this is the Sterling chain reactor here. And I'm going to kind of choose my length here a little bit. So I'm going to go up and clip into the anchor, lock that, and then I'm going to take another quick draw, clip to the other bolt, and kind of choose a length here that kind of mimics the other length. In this case, I'm going to rock over, clip that in, and now I'm into 2 points mostly equalized. Slack. Now notice I called for slack and not off belay. That's a critical mistake that leads to a lot of errors around the world where the person says off belay, but they actually just mean slack, because I'm going to lower off of this sport climb, not rappel. In sport climbing, the AMGA, the American Alpine Club, we all recommend that we lower off these anchors. They're easily replaceable, and it's a safer overall way to get off of sport climbs. So now that I have slack, there's a couple things I can do here. If these chains are big enough to pass a bight of rope through, that's going to be my preferred configuration. In this case, it looks like they are. So I'm going to unclip from these quick draws. I'm still tied in, so I can't drop the rope. I'm going to pull up a bight of rope, and I'm going to squeeze it through these chain links. The beauty of lowering off, and especially this particular technique, is I'm on belay the entire time. Pull a bight through. I'm going to tie a bight knot. In this case, the overhand on a bight could be a figure 8 on a bight as well. I'm going to grab a locking carabiner and clip this to my belay loop. Lock it. Make sure it's locked. Okay. Now, what I can do is untie my climbing knot, pull that out of my harness, pull that slack through the anchor, and now I'm essentially ready to lower. Now, even though I never set off belay, and I know my partner Olivia has me on belay down there, one good practice, fundamental practice to always do, is have them take your weight before you unclip from the anchor. And that will help prevent the catastrophic miscommunication error when maybe your partner thought you were going to rappel, or for some reason they took you off. This is just another double check in the system. So Olivia, take. Okay. So I'm going to pull in. All right, now that Olivia is holding my weight, and I've double checked that, now I can come out of the system that was holding my weight temporarily while I threaded the rope. Clean up these spare quick draws, take off my chain reactor, and I'm ready to lower. Okay, go ahead and lower, Olivia.
Okay, lowering.
All right, if the route were a little bit steeper, one little trick that I like to do is unclip the first quick draw at the top that I've come down to, leave it clipped to the rope, clip it to my belay loop, and we call this trolleying, and this allows me to stay in tight as I go down and be able to unclip the remaining quick draws, especially if it's an overhanging route. Really handy technique. Another way to clean the anchor is to thread the actual end of the rope through. So I'm going to go through a different setup here. In this case, we have 2 quick draws as our top rope anchor, opposite and opposed, which is totally fine. So I'm just going to use quick draws to anchor myself in, which is a common technique out there. I'm going to pull in a little bit, leave my final chain exposed so I can thread my end, get another quick draw. I'm going to make sure to clip it in opposite that other carabiner. Okay, so now I'm into 2 quick draws. They're opposite and opposed all the way through, so 2 independent systems. Go ahead and feed me some slack, Olivia. Notice once again I said slack, not off belay. Now in this case, I'm gonna, let's say the chains are too tight to thread a bite through. So I'm gonna pull up some excess rope, tie a bite knot below, figure 8 on a bite here, and clip into a locking carabiner to my belay loop. It's important to go to your belay loop here because now I'm still on belay through this whole transition. If something were to go wrong up here, I'm still on the lead rope tied into a locking carabiner and still through quick draws below me here in this case. So now I can untie. Pull the rope out of those quick draws. I'm just going to go ahead and clean those up now to make my system a little visually cleaner so it's easier to see. I'm going to thread the rope through the chains and retie in using my figure 8 knot. If I'm wearing a sweatshirt or thicker clothes, it's important to make sure I get tied in back to the proper points in my harness, because unlike our belay commands at the ground, I don't have somebody to double check my system up here, although I am going to double check it by having Olivia take my weight before I unclip from these. But it's just another little tip to make sure you don't accidentally tie into the wrong point in your harness. So now I'm going to make sure everything's threaded, tied back in, do my visual inspections tied in. Now I'm going to unclip that bite knot that was securing my rope and providing protection. It's going to drop down, clean this up. Olivia, take. Yeah. Pull in. Okay, she's holding my weight. The actual climbing rope's under tension, and my quick draws that were holding my weight are now slack. So now I can pop those out. Ready to lower.